So Maxi, big week ahead for you and your side as you head for a National League Division 1 final. How important is it that these girls get to experience Croke Park? You have been there before. It's been several years since you have been there, but now listen, you're heading to GA headquarters again, so you are. How important is it for these girls to get a run out at Croke Park?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really important, really useful part of the development process for the girls. We were fortunate enough to get a joust with Dublin there in 2019 in a first round of the league that year, and we got over the line. But it just adds a whole different dimension to the experience, and even to, I suppose, the stress levels and the lead up to the game. It's something else for the girls to get their head around. And I think any kind of an experience where the body comes under stress, the mind comes under stress, and once you experience that, get through it and get over it, they'll be the better for it. And we've played in a lot of big games this last number of years. We've played 5. This will be our 5th game this year, and 3 of them been live on TV. So the ladies thing is really taking flight, and it's the games are becoming more popular and far more scrutinised, and that does add a wee bit of pressure to the girls. So I think, look, the more big games they play in, the better they'll be then when the bigger games come around later in the summer. And look, there's no better place than Croke Park to try and add to the experience bank.
Listen, you had big games before as well against Dublin. You actually beat them in Croke Park, so you did. But in the semi-final, 2 late goals secured a place in the decider. That was a huge result for you, Maxi, in more ways than one. Yes, you got to the final, but you were getting the monkey off the back in relation to beating the Dubs.
Yeah, look, it's something, we've kind of tripped ourselves up against Dublin in the last couple of years, 2020 and then last year's quarter final. So we always felt that we had enough to to go toe to toe with Dublin, and the ball maybe didn't bounce for us in the previous couple of games, but ultimately I don't think we did enough either. And I think the really pleasing thing about the semi-final was the fact that even 5 points down a few minutes ago, the girls still had a bit of belief that they could claw it back, and that's very important. I think that's just sheer experience, and if you look back at the game, the 3 girls that made the big plays happen, or Curran, Katie, Yvonne, and even Geraldine, that they were the 4 girls that were involved in both goals. So that tells you the bit of experience and the value of experience. And I think that's the big thing for us coming out of the Dublin game. We have that now in the bank, and a lot of the younger girls that played that day will take that with them, and I think we'll be the better for it.
So you'll need them girls to, at the very least, get to that level again against Meath, will you?
Yeah, look, the Meath game is a completely different animal to the Dublin game. The style of football that Meath play is just a complete opposite to Dublin, and there's that to deal with. As you mentioned, the Croke Park factor, the fact that it's a national final. So listen, it's just a completely different prospect. We've never played Meath before, so there isn't that element of familiarity that sometimes breeds contempt, as they say. So we just have to deal with this as a whole new challenge, and it's one we're really looking forward. It's a brilliant occasion, and fair play to the girls for getting us over the line the last day. They they deserve great credit, and for the way they battled. Even I know that a lot of the talks about the 2 goals at the end, but we were playing against a gale force wind, and from Ross McCaffrey and goals throughout all the defenders, they managed to get their kickouts away time and time again under serious pressure, under a big press from Dublin, and that showed a lot of courage. And I know they say the other girls to get the headlines, but it was a real team shift in the end, and I think we'll get a lot of mileage out of that victory.
What's the threats of Meath? They're All-Ireland champions. Vicky Wall's in the newspapers today. She's set for a move to Australia, but she's only one of a number of threats that they have. How do you contend with that, Maxi?
Well, I think the thing about Meath is their strength is their collective. Look, they have a couple of fabulous players. Vicky Wall and Emma Dugan are the 2 standout performers, but they have another couple of forwards. Neva Sullivan and Stacey Grimes are really quality footballers. Midfielder Maria Shockney is a class act as well, and then a couple of defenders. Emma Troy is constantly bombing up and down the field. So look, they have some really good individuals, but I think their strength is in their as they're in the collective. They defend as a group of 15 most of the time, and that's very difficult for ladies to break down because the scoring zone is so much smaller for girls than it is for boys. Boys will regularly score from outside the 45. That's a real rarity in ladies football, so it's a bit easier to defend on block, and that's a challenge that we haven't come up against before. And as I say, it's the exact opposite to Dublin, who would have went completely player to player and tried to strangle the life out of you. So it's going to be a whole different challenge for us, but look, it's one we're really looking forward to.
Yeah. It's fascinating with Meath when you look at it, the way they transitioned from being a Division 2 team to All-Ireland champions in such a short period of time. Is that something that Donegal can achieve, Maxi? Do you have a good enough foundation and a base there that maybe in the next 18 months you can knock on from where you are now to
look, I don't know if you're going to be able to mirror what Meath done, to be honest, because I think they would have started out 4 years ago, with a new management at that time and a very young crop of players. Would have won a Leinster minor title and went on to contest an All-Ireland final, and that would have been the basis of what this team is built on. They've had a very steady trajectory upwards, and the evolution of their team has been very consistent. They've added one or two players as each season has went on, and embedded a game plan and stuck with that and got through it. I keep going back to the geography issue for Donegal, and we have so many people that head away for work or even travel or college and one thing and another that we haven't been able to have that consistency. With a couple of guys went to Australia and things like that. So that's been a real handicap for us, I think. The fact that we just haven't been able to retain our playing rota from one year to the other year all the time, adding in new players and having to replace players and trying to bring new players up to speed, and try and develop a game plan that suits the new pieces and the jigsaw and so on. So look, I think the Meath thing is a real textbook approach for aspiring counties to get up to the top tier. But I think for us, with the age bracket that we're in, and we mentioned the Currans and the Vaughans and these people, they're in the autumn of their careers, we'll say. And so look, there's some great talent coming through in Donegal, but look, I think those girls will be very hard to replace when they do decide to step away.
How are you fixed on the playing front this week? How's the squad shaping up for this league? And do you have everybody, Maxi?
Yeah, look, I think we're possibly a wee bit stronger than we were even for the Dublin game. Fiona McMahon would have played early in the campaign, was injured, so she'll be back in the squad. And we have a wee lady from Maville, the name of Niamh Hegarty, that might be with us. She just returned there a number of weeks ago, and so I'm not sure if she'll be up to speed or not in time for this week, but she's part of it. And then we have another wee lady returning, I can't remember the name of Tanya Kennedy. People that would have followed ladies football in Donegal, years ago would remember Tanya as an underage player, a really exciting prospect. And she's been in Australia for a number of years and played a bit of AFL out there. So look, she's back with us as well. And again, this week might come too soon for her, but she is part of the squad anyway. And I think we're definitely probably stronger for having those couple of girls added back.
You hope to see more of them come the championship, do you?
Yeah, look, a player of Niamh Hegarty's quality. She's a former All-Star at centre half forward and a fabulous player and a brilliant servant to Donegal. And look, we're hoping that she'll be around come Championship Town. Herself and Tanya will have a big role to play. Yeah, well, in the headlines this week, Maxi, you're having your going and adding your penny's worth to the ongoing dispute between the GPAGAA and the GAA. Now, from a Donegal point of view, the Donegal Ladies Board have been fantastic over the last number of years in supporting the ladies, which you have mentioned on several occasions. But in the overall scheme of things, on a national level, what is your take on the GPA and the GAA and where this whole expenses thing is going, Maxi? Yeah, well, look, as you know yourself, the newspaper never refuses ink, and it's just a question that was fired at me at the recent launch of the league final. Look, I think it's quite a contentious issue. The boys are battling their own corner in terms of what they feel they're entitled, and what they give is phenomenal, and it's brilliant, and they don't get half enough in my eyes, but it's still a million miles away from where the girls are at. And as you mentioned, Donegal County Board have been absolutely brilliant. In the 5 years I've been here, they've given us everything we've asked for. The girls themselves have been brilliant from a fundraising perspective. They have mucked in, put their shoulder to the wheel. So in terms of the resources, we have got everything that we ever looked for. So this is a national issue, and I think even a societal issue, to be fair. I think one of the headlines in the paper was the boys get 65 cent a mile, the girls will be lucky to get 5. That's just the way it is. The men get majority of their money from the attendance at their games throughout the year. The LGFA don't get that, and we're dependent largely on the corporate sector and a bit of local fundraising to try and get something for the girls. They do get something at the end of the year, but with the way fuel costs have gone at the minute, it's a massive issue. And look, we are putting a big push on and locally in a bit of a fundraising campaign to try and raise a pot of money to go towards reimbursing the girls for their out-of-pocket expenses. There's girls spending €120 a week at the minute to get to training, and look, that's just too much for a student or a young girl to be out of pocket. It's 2 days work and a part-time job, whatever. So look, we really are appealing, and I think that's where the conversation came from. But I think there's a long road ahead in terms of the parity being achieved for the two games, and as I say, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But look, the girls are not even talking about it is not an issue for them. It's more for us at the other side of the fence. But we know the effort that they put in, and and it, as I say, from a societal issue, you have to question how a male's entitled to 65 cent a mile and a girl is lucky to get 5. But look, that's just the nature of the two games, and the LGFA are doing a great job nationally and even locally in terms of looking after the girls. But that's the big thing ahead for the game, is to try and get the girls up to a level where they're not out of pocket. We don't expect to get to 65 cent a mile, but we would love to get to a stage where they're not playing the game at their own cost.
Yeah, we'll just mention the ongoing fundraiser at the moment. All the details on the Donegal LGFA Facebook page. It's the Golden Goal Ticket. It's all part of the National League final between Donegal and Meath. You'll get a time for that game, and you could win yourself €1,000. More details on the Donegal LGFA Facebook page. And just onto the strategic plan that was released this week as well, Maxi, that they are saying the LGFA and the Camogie associations coming together with the GAA, the expenses when that happens, that you will all be back on it. You would expect at that stage when it happens to be on a level playing field. Yeah,
look, that's all well and good, and look, it sounds great in theory, but I think in practice it's going to be very difficult, and I think people are jumping into the GAA's bed with us, ourselves, the LGFA and the Camogie Association. We don't have the means to raise the funds to pay the girls their expenses. Look, to get absolutely everything else that the boys get, they're treated really, really well in our county, and I think in a lot of other counties nowadays. The ladies' game has gone to a whole new level over the last 5 or 6 years, and it's that as the old chestnut as the expenses, and I really don't see how a pot of money is going to be made available for the ladies' county teams to be able to compete with the boys. And the GPAGAA are making moves on their end, but as it stands, the men's game is where the money is coming into, and unfortunately the ladies' game just doesn't get supported in the same way. And look, we can all give out about it and say it's not right, but until people jump in their cars and go to the games and pay at the turnstiles and and support the game that way, I think the ladies have a long way to go before they can expect to get anywhere near the level of boys' expenses. And as wrong as that may sound, that's just the nature of the times we're living.
Let's go back to what's happening this weekend. Your management team, you've changed it this year, Maxi, and you now find yourself in a league final. You're at Croke Park, the chance to win a league title for the first time, a Division 1 league title. Obviously, the changes that you've made, you're starting to see the benefits of it, are you?
Yeah, look, you roll the dice with that kind of thing. We've been blessed over the last number of years with the quality of backroom we've had. Going back to the Damien Devaney's, the Gary Walsh's, Johnny McGinley, Alan O'Connell, Joe McLaughlin, Davy McLaughlin. They have done great work for us over the last couple of years, and we just felt that it would be a help to freshen the thing up this year. And Mark McHugh became available as a coach, and it was just a brilliant opportunity for us to get someone of Mark's expertise and playing experience to join the group and see if he could push the thing on that way. And Paul Fisher, from a strength and conditioning perspective, is he's so well known and well renowned, and he has revolutionised what we have been doing from that regard. And Barney Curran has come on as well as part of the coaching team. So listen, it's just brought a real freshness, and we got a couple of players back, the likes of Yvonne and that. So it's just it's a bit of freshness, and the quality of those guys and the experience that they bring is maybe revitalised the thing is small, but they're probably sick to listen to my voice at this stage. So it's nice to take a step back maybe and see the magic unfold other ways.
If the magic is going to unfold on Sunday, then Max, seniors are going to take that title. What sort of performance is going to be required from the Donegal senior ladies?
I think patience is probably going to be the name of the game. As I mentioned earlier, Meath properly defend on block, and they put 15 behind the ball on a regular basis, and that's really hard to break down. I say it's a bit easier in men's because fellas can kick it that bit further. Girls can't do that, so they have to be really methodical and patient in how they approach the attacking, and then Meath break really fast when they win the ball back. So it's going to be a massive shift physically for the girls as well. Croke Park's a big place and can be very unforgiving for defenders if they're left having to defend in lots of space. So the girls are going to have to get up the field to try and break down Meath's blanket defence, and then they're going to have to retreat very quickly to make sure our own back door is closed. So that's something we haven't played against before, but I think the whole thing is just coming to a boil nicely for us. We've never won a national title, and I think the girls are aware of that. Meath are strong favourites. They're All-Ireland champions. They're a brilliant team. They've done great things the last couple of years. They've been in Croke Park 5 or 6 times over the last couple of years. They don't have any of that to worry about, and I think it's just coming together nicely. No one really expects too much of us, and we just hope that the girls give a performance that they're proud of, and they're coming down the road, and if that's good enough, so be it.
Hopefully we'll do that, Max. The best of luck in Croke Park on
Thanks,
Sunday.
Ross. Thank you.